Yo, what's poppin', guys? You looking for some free and easy wins for the XYZ Cup? Do you want to hit dual level 20 or climb in phase 2 as fast as possible? I have just a deck for you. I had a bad day and decided just to play Numeron, and I went straight from dual level 17 to 20 without dropping a single game. I'll show you my match history in just a second here. After just a quick rundown of the deck, it's basically Numerons. You all probably seen this already. You activate the field spell that will send Calling to the graveyard. Then you summon one of each of all of these guys. And then every time they battle against a monster, they double their attack. And then you just kill your opponent instantly. So this is a blind second strategy. So you're going to be running a bunch of board breakers and going second every time. This also has the advantage of you always getting to go second every time. If you're trying to play a go first deck, you only get to go first half of the time. But here, no matter if you win or lose the coin flip, you're going second, right? So Numeron Wall gets you to the field spell. Maxi is broken, gets you cards, helps you turn skip, your opponent sets up a weaker board or something, or you draw into more board breakers, so you win for free. Pathfinder gets you to the field spell. Silent Wabi is the forbidden tech. So if your opponent sees that you win the coin flip and you choose to go second, they could assume you're either on Numeron or Mikanko, which have issues OTKing on empty boards, both of them. So you basically just summon this to your opponent's board for free, and then you just kill them. Which is pretty funny. We also have Vika Viper, which is just limit removal at home, basically. You can also choose to run this, but it's an ultra rare, so I decided not to. This just doubles the attack of all your machine monsters. So this will actually give you lethal on an empty board as well, and help you beat over like big monsters to still find game. Vic Viper does basically the same thing. If one of your monsters attacks, you just special summon it, and then all your light machines gain 1200 attack, which is all these guys. And of course, the 1200 attack also gets doubled. Then we have a Kaiju here. We have Pankratops, Lava Golem, another Kaiju. And then we're running Archfiend Eccentric as a small world bridge, as well as it can pop a monster if you summon it, or pop a spell trap if you scale it. For our other board breakers, we have Duster, of course. Left Arm Offering gets you to the field spell, or anything else that you need, potentially. If you already have the field spell and you need to like Duster them, just search for that, right? Desires lets you draw cards. You want to use this after Network to maybe draw into a Viper or another board breaker, because if you banish both of your callings, you're kind of screwed. Sometimes you can't afford to use it later, just pray. Same for Extrav, we have 3 of each name. You're probably fine, right? Lightning Storm is a board breaker, Talents is a board breaker. This is the brick, I guess, you need to send off Network. You can also activate it from your hand, so it's not too bad, but you need to have the field spell. Small World is there to search for Numeron Wall to get your field spell. And you can also search for some Kaijus or Lava Golems using the Eccentric as a bridge. Don't really worry about how it works. You basically reveal anything in your hand. Then you select Eccentric, and then you search for whatever you want. For the most part, I think you can't bridge the Pank. Thrust also amazing as a board breaker. Really good into stuff like Purrely and Kashtira, which will just activate in the standby phase. And then you can just go ahead and search for your Duster or whatever. Field spell, of course, you need it. And then we're also on Imperm just to help simplify game states, and then you win. In the extra deck, you could opt to potentially run another Sunya. You make this with Gate 1. It banishes all cards on the field. You do this in the main phase 2 to like clear the board, and then it'll come back in the next standby phase, and if your field spell is still up, you will burn your opponent for the attack of all your banished Xyz monsters, which if there's nothing else that you banished will be 3k just off of your own board. And then we have Zeus, which is kind of fake because here guys only have 1 material. All right, here's my win streak. We hit 2 level max, and yeah, we just won the last 10 games in a row here. I got drop hacked in this one or something. I don't know how you lose in turn 0. This demoted me then again, and then I just won every single game straight to max rank. So we're just going to go ahead and speed run through all of these duels really quickly. I'll give a little bit of insight so you know a bit of the more technical aspects, but it's actually a very simple deck. It's pretty inexpensive, so it's really great for climbing. Alright, so for our first game here, we're going to open 3 Numeron walls, actually. The Vic Viper and the Thrust. We're going to be going against, of course, Horus. What else would you be expecting, right? The problem is Numeron Wall is a hard once per turn. So what you could do here is you consider using this during your turn. So you get thrust off of Unicorn here. I just have all 3 of them, so I'm just going to go ahead and use one here. Also, do note that this does send from the hand or field to the graveyard, so this actually doesn't work under a Rise Heart. So if they're threatening making a Rise Heart, you do have to be careful about that. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and use this here. I'm just going to go rip Sanya because we're only on 1 copy here. So maybe you could bump it up. Now we get Max Seed. He has a Kenobi Protector. And we're going to go ahead and use the Thrust now because of Max C. He gets to summon back all of his guys. We have the Duster here to just wipe out his back row. And now the only thing we have to be careful of really here, this just gives Recursion. This one actually sends our field spell, but we just have another Numeron wall, so we don't care. And this one says that we actually cannot attack Horus monsters. So we're just going to go ahead and Lava Golem his Horus monsters. Some of these guys out. Now when we declare an attack, Vic Viper is going to boost our attack. And as you can see, this boosted attack will be doubled. And we're just going to go ahead and swing for a bajillion damage here. Now, fortunately, this isn't really a format where your opponent will be comboing for 10 minutes or something. They're just going to be doing Cash or Horus combo or Purrely combo or something. Maybe set up some Rescue A stuff. Who knows, right? So our opponent here has a negate. This is a mandatory effect to negate. The first thing, so we're just going to go ahead and use Network, so we get to search for Thrust here. We get to use the Thrust to search here. We'll Duster his Unknown back row after he's Lava Golem here. Definitely should have done that before activating the Numeron Network, but we don't get punished. It's just an enemy controller. And now we attack here, summon out the Viper, and it's just lethal damage. Okay, in this duel, we actually managed to not draw the field spell, which is kind of awkward. So right now I'm thinking about using Thrust to search for the field spell here. Our opponent has Swords of Revealing Light, which is really awkward. So I'm deliberating here for a whole bunch, and we basically need to resolve Thrust. So this is going to just force it out, right? And we go for Left Arm Offering here. Eccentric gets to pop this, and now we'll just sack our entire hand for Network. Activate Calling, summon out all the dudes, and now the adventure thing says you can't restore my battle once here, so now we actually get to just boost up our attack again, and we just swing and kill him here. Right, a kind of awkward hand here, but it should be enough, right? We're going to use the Maxi here. Probably should have used it in reaction to the Imseti, in case he draws into a Callby or an Ash Blossom. We're going to opt to not use the X-Drive here, just because it's kind of risky, and we already kill him anyways here. So yeah, quick game. Alright, this game is super awkward because we won the coin flip, and selected go second, and the game still made us go first. Yeah, so this isn't what's supposed to happen. Normally they would be setting off their board, and then we would just break it. So they are going to go ahead and combo. They would find lethal here. However, we do have Numeron Wall with its second effect. If you take battle damage, you get a special summon this from your hand, and then you end the battle phase. So we're going to use it here, and either battle phase ends, or he uses Griffin to negate it, and then he is only at like 6 to 7k damage, and we don't actually die, and then we can just break the board next turn. So here's the game state. We get to just activate the Numeron Network here. Very nice. We find Maxi. Would have been nice last turn, but hey. Now he pops our network. I don't really care. We're going to kaiju all of his stuff here. We're going to make sure we don't know what the back row is, I think, at this point. So we make sure to get rid of Shangri in case he has Big Bang. Right here, I have a Kashtira exceeds monsters on the field and player controls 2 or more monsters. They must banish monsters they control face down, so they only control 1 monster, which would stop our OTK, and they just probably have better follow-up than we do. Yeah. So we're just going to go ahead, boost all of our guys up a bunch here. Gonna summon a guy back. We should have used Maxi in the standby phase. I don't know what I'm doing here, honestly. He gets rid of the Sunya, which would have been really nice right here. But he's going to die to the Lava Golem, so he surrenders. Alright, here's another game where we win the coin flip and choose to go second. We're just gonna go ahead and Maxi here. We get Callby, and I mean, their hand is kind of nuts. It's Imseti, Pitch, Rainbow Bridge, right? kind of not so good for us. So they're going to go combo off a little bit here, grab the Emerald Tortoise, scan the field spell, go for all the stuff here, right? All the Horus stuff. Go ahead and summon out all these guys. Ton of dudes. Make zombie vampire. Not really sure what the point of this is, but he takes my eccentric. And here's where the goat silent wobby comes up. I'm gonna go ahead, summon them into attack position there. And here I choose to imperm this. There's nothing else I care about imperming. So we're going to just not attack into Horus monsters. So King Sark doesn't matter. We're not destroying anything by effect. So none of these guys do anything. And we're just going to go slap into these guys until we get big and then just kill the Wobby. However, when it's summoned, he gets to draw a card. And we do lose to Ash or Nib here. So we don't want him to like potentially draw into those because it can Ash the Pathfinder here. And since we already summoned Wobby, even though we only summoned 4 monsters to our field, we do get nibbed potentially. Just gonna like boost up here a bit, beat over his guys, and he surrenders. Here again, we lose the coin flip, which is great for us. We're gonna imperm this because it's definitely the target. And unfortunately, we don't actually find a kaiju, right? So we can't afford to let them play here. They're gonna whiff off of this Purrely. They have a pretty memory in hand, which is an imperm. And here's where we have to think for a bit. Pretty much, we don't have a way to lethal here. So if we activate Numeron Network, we summon the 4 guys. We attack with any of them, it gets negated, and now we don't get the attack boost, so we don't actually find enough damage. He's at 9k as well. So we have to pank away the beauty, and then we summon all of our guys, and then we attack once, boost all our guys to 2k, and then we only deal 6k damage. However, we do have Sunya if we go for that line, so that's what we're going to go for here. Going to activate the field spell here. Left arm offering these things off for desires. Maybe we draw into like a Vic Viper or something. Pank away the beauty here. If he wanted to use it earlier, we just chain to it, right? We don't care. And now, of course, we use the field spell first so we don't get rid of all of our calling copies. And we find Small World Imperm. You can't set Imperm because of left arm offering, actually. But his only live draw is his second White Cat hitting, right? Because Purrely needs 2 cards. So we're actually going to just go for a Sunya here, and this will banish all monsters on the field, and then it burns for the attack of all the banished exceeds when it resummons. So 3k, which is exact lethal here. Gonna bring him back. Boom. Free win. Alright, this hand also looking pretty nice. We have 3 ways to network and 2 board breakers. Very nifty. So we're just going to go ahead and let them set up here. Now, fortunately, they do go for the Shangri combo here, which means they will probably be playing to thrust. We don't lose anything of value here, fortunately. Now, don't forget, wall doesn't work under a Rise Heart. So we're going to go ahead and draw. And they're actually going to use prep and pass on the Shangri. So that means thrust isn't live. We need to find a way to get talents live as well. So what we're going to go for here is we're going to actually tribute these guys to force the mandatory activation of a Rise Heart. Now we get to use thrust, and we're going to small world off our Numeron wall because we already have the network in our hand. That's going to go ahead and grab us a kaiju. Now he's just going to go ahead and get rid of the lava golem real quick. Might as well, right? Now we tribute him off here. Activate this, send this, and we were going to Talon's Draw and hopefully find the Vic Viper because this isn't actually lethal by itself. Alright, this hand is going to turn out to be very interesting here since we do need to actually resolve the Pot of Extravagance. We do need to thrust for a Duster or something as well, and since we know they have a Adventure token, we can already see the Griffin coming, so one of these cards isn't going to be resolving. So we need extra. If we lead with Wall, they're going to negate it. We don't have a way to get to the field spell, so we need to lead with Extravagance here, just like force a negate or draw into something useful. So for turn, we're going to go and draw a Numeron Calling, which does absolutely nothing. Extra here, getting ashed. We're going to check our banished cards here. We hit 2 copies of Zeus, we don't care, and then we hit 2 copies of 2 of the gates. Fortunately, we're playing 3. This is why we play 3 of them here. I'm going to use Small World here. Get rid of our Vic Viper for a Lava Golem. And now we're going to go just grab Lightning Storm, because, I mean, we could have gotten Duster here as well. And they're going to go and use Iron Thunder. So this is going to, fortunately, I thought this destroys stuff in its own column, but it destroys the stuff in the column where I activated it. So it's actually going to eat the Fateful Adventure. In hindsight, I should have definitely tributed over the Adventure token here. I'm going to summon all of our dudes here. Swing. And this doesn't actually kill it here. Now we get to beat over it here instead of it being protected because Fateful is gone. And fortunately we get to swing for game and grab another win. And for our final game, both of us are actually on our rank up match here. And unfortunately, they do have the Canopic Protector, which is kind of exactly what we lose to, unfortunately, if they do go for the Horus line. Because they would get the guy, where if one of his cards gets outed, we actually can't attack the Horus cards anymore. So Duster would trigger that, and if we go for Golem first, he chains it to the Duster, and then I also can't attack into his guys. But fortunately, he does go for a more cash heavy line here. And for turn, we're going to find an Infinite Impermanence. It's going to show all of his cards that he has here. So we're going to go ahead and just lead with Duster. Instead, he does nothing here yet. And we're going to tribute all of these guys off. Go ahead and imperm the Unicorn because we actually need Sanya this game. So this is negated, fortunately. And I should have summoned something to the EMZ, but because Talon's Draw could have gotten something, but it doesn't really matter because he gets to trigger this to lock my other main monster zone as well. So we're going to go ahead and swing here. And this leaves him at 2k. We're going to go for Sanya, which banishes the whole field. And this doesn't actually burn for anything additional off of the Shangri here because it has no attack. And they draw the call by for turn, but fortunately Sanya banishes itself so he can't hit it. So he just hits another Exceed here, so he takes a bit more damage just for the lulz. And we burn him here. Alright guys, I hope this deck helps you guys climb as well. And I hope you have a blast with it when you've had a terrible day and just want to rack up some wins. Alright, see ya.